What's up, guys? Welcome in to an episode of the Downbeat podcast. Before we get started, I need to tell you I'm going on tour. If you're listening to this, I'm going on tour in December in the United States of America. It's a live podcast tour. My guest is Brendan Murphy on all dates, plus special guests. I would love it if you came. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be like I don't know what we're going to do, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a holiday spectacular. So you got December 5th, LA, December 8th, Dallas, December 10th, Chicago, December 11th, Brooklyn, December 12th, Toronto. Please come. You can get tickets at www.thedownbeat.at. So it spells Downbeat. Also, I've got new merch in there as well. Pick something up, you could pick both up. Or, I'm going to have exclusive merch at those dates. Maybe just wait. I don't know. Thanks. If you don't want to go to a show and you don't want to do anything like that, but you want to support me, patreon.com/thedownbeat is £1. Lowest tier is £1. Helps me facilitate, to be honest with you, I'm trying to move to the United States to do more of these podcasts. So it helps facilitate that. It's just £1. Lowest tier is £1. You get exclusive access to merch. You get early access to episodes. There's a bunch of stuff. www.patreon.com/thedownbeat. Check it out. As ever, this episode of the Downbeat podcast is brought to you by the wonderful people at Display. What on earth is Display, Craig? I'm new here. I don't know what it is. They make metal posters, right? They mount on the wall with a magnet. There's no drilling. Let me tell you, I'm about to move to the United States of America, and in that, I'm going to be renting for a while. So I cannot wait to go to display.com. This sounds like a joke ad, but it's 100% true. I can't wait to go to Display. I'm going to get my place. The landlord is going to say no drilling in the walls. I know full well from using Displays, they don't leave a mark on the wall. So I'm really looking forward to just going nuts and decorating the entire place in Displays. We have brand new Downbeat designs. Any movie, game, sports team, anything you can think of, any niche little anime thing, they've got it. Listeners of the podcast can get a amazing 22% off 1 to 2 displays or 33% off 3 or more by going to display.com/thedownbeat and using the code downbeat. Check it out. My guests on the podcast this week are returning guests, Josean and Pat from Fit for an Autopsy. Josean did an audio-only episode back in 2018. Since then, he's had double knee replacement surgery, left the band, rejoined the band, dealt with some demons. We talked about all of that. Pat was one of the first video episodes before I got high budget-ish, made it look nicer. Bunch of super interesting dudes, super amazing band. You can catch them on tour right now, finishing up their US tour at the end of November, and then they're doing UK and Europe with Silosis at the end of November, start of December. Full UK Euro run. Check them out on that. We had a lovely chat. Will Putney's in Fit for an Autopsy. It's been a Putney month, hasn't it? It's Pat and Josean of Fit for an Autopsy on the Downbeat podcast. Adultery.
Here we go. Let's start the podcast off correctly.
What happened? How did we get talking about adultery? Hang on. First off, Pat, Josean, welcome.
Correct.
Thank you for having us.
Anyway,
thank
adultery.
you for having me for a second time.
He's been on the audio.
Yeah.
This is alumni.
Yeah. It's wonderful.
How long ago? 6-7 years?
Yeah, a long time.
You're like maybe the 8th guest ever.
Well.
And I was in your old apartment, your old flat.
Yep.
In Glasgow, maybe.
And how things have changed.
Life is different.
Yeah, because realistically, you were before the video got good, and you were before video.
Yeah.
So here we are now.
I mean, I'll tell you what, the coffee was great.
Thank you very much.
Speaking of coffee,
I'm sorry that we have to.
I'm okay with this.
This is quite good.
This is very good. A little plug for me. Fellow made this new coffee machine called the Aiden.
Look into that fucking camera over there.
Fellow, it's one of my favorite coffee companies. They make wonderful products for you to brew your own coffee at home. And they made this new coffee pot called an Aiden, and it's out of hand.
Where are they from?
They are, they're in the States. I can't remember, but a good guy who I've known for a really long time named Nick Terzulli is like one of their head engineers and new product manager guy or whatever. I'm not sure of his title, but he works with them. And we know him.
The plug is too long.
He's a genius.
The plug is too long. We're not, you want a free fucking coffee machine. No. My platform, I want the fucking machine.
Okay, here's the thing. We want this machine. So fellow, go buy their products. They're wonderful.
I've already just served them 3 ads, and you're giving them another ad. I'm literally immediately he started.
Yeah.
People have tuned out now.
Yeah,
Fuck
okay.
the album. Fuck the cause. Anyway, adultery.
Yeah.
Where were we?
Yeah.
How do we get onto
We were
adultery?
talking about if someone
mitigate
cheats,
some of this.
we're gonna leave out how we got there, but we'll leave why we got there.
Thank you.
My thing is if somebody steps out or jumps out of the bag on their partner, the partner can't be mad at the person that they step out of the bag with if they're not friends or in a tight friendship.
And
with.
I agree.
Because you don't know what that person is telling the other person.
You don't
may
know
not
the yarns that
exist.
have been spun.
So if you're going to get mad at it, I think it's silly for a grown man to find out that his lady stepped out and then be mad at the dude. Because in reality,
you would do it.
Anybody, if you think that there's a single attractive woman that's interested in you and there's a willing situation and there's no parameters that you shouldn't be crossing the line, you're going to do it. And the opposite person in that relationship is to blame, not the outside person that they chose to be
Unless
with.
you knew them, in which case
that would be
you're
like
fucking
if Josean,
you're fucking dead to
right.
me.
If Josean made out with my wife, it would be a different kind of conversation.
Wow.
Do you think you?
Well, like if some guy I never met before,
That was insane.
then it would be between me and my wife. You know what I mean?
Or if it's consensual. Well, if you were like, "Hey, Josean, come around and fucking come back, my wife."
I mean,
Yeah. I'll
that's a lifestyle that
just
you
pick
want.
me in JetBlue.
Yeah. Good luck with her, dude.
Anyway, fuck me. What's going on, Pat? I've been hanging out with you for 2 days. Josean, I haven't seen you in 6 years.
That's true.
Yeah. What's going on? A lot's going on.
Let me just start quickly with Josean. Where are you living right now?
During the pandemic, I went back to Puerto Rico to be closer to my family and help. So now that the band grew, I'm able to just take one more plane, be home, and whenever they need me, I'll just show up
So
here.
you're in Puerto Rico now?
I am, yeah.
I don't know anything about Puerto Rico other than
You're
it gets
welcome
fucked.
to visit anytime you want. Just make sure I'm there and you just show up.
It's beautiful and crazy at the same time.
What's the climate? Like, what's the weather?
Perfect. Yeah, it's hot the whole year. It's never cold or anything. Beach weather,
Other than
tropical.
the occasional tropical storm.
Yeah, that's the one. That's
right
all I
now,
know it for.
we just passed or are almost done with the hurricane season, which is always scary. It's not fun. But other than that, it's just I just go out every day, go to the beach. My lady lives in front of the water, so
Is it like 12 months out of the year good weather?
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm coming.
anytime you want, man. Like you just show up.
I've never seen beaches like that before.
I live 10 minutes away from the airport, so
Fuck, I'm fucking in. I'm going. Pat, where are you living at the moment? Same place?
Just outside Atlanta, same area. Yeah,
Same
We've been-
tattoo shop?
Yep. I'm still tattoo shop, rose gold tattoo, and traveling for band and doing the thing. It's I live in a suburb, a couple of towns outside the city, and then the tattoo shop is like in the new section of the city because they built the new Brave Stadium like a mile from where we opened the tattoo shop. So it's like pretty busy there now. It's called Smyrna, the area. So it's like one town outside of Atlanta, but now it's like a borough. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's great. I like living there.
Because we talked a lot on the last one about the tattoo shop. I can't remember if it was... I should really fucking remember. When did you open it?
Man, we got the lease
Yeah, this is what we talked
in
about.
2019,
Yeah.
invested, and then got shut down for 6 months. But we technically opened in 2020, like right during the pandemic. And we got really lucky. Like Georgia was a little lax on, restrictions and laws, and it would shut down periodically, but nothing crazy, So we got really lucky. And what I thought was going to be a lose my ass situation turned into like a pretty good situation. We have a really great staff. Everybody that works for us is incredible dudes. My business partner is also an incredible dude. So I'm a very lucky guy. Like it's like pretty crazy that it worked. And we're in year 5 right now and it's going well.
Is it a hassle to deal with it when you're on tour? Or have you got people that you just go, okay, this is what's happening, I'm off?
I've been friends with my business partner for 20 years and my wife helps. And we have a crew of people that I could trust with anything, which is really rare. you know.
So sick. 'Cause you
Yeah.
just go away and make double money.
Well, there's that whole thing, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Money is great. But it's also like the idea of I get to come home and not have to worry about, does my employer want to have a part-time tattooer? Because that's a hard thing, you know, and I understand why, you know, somebody doesn't want to employ you part-time. It's impossible for me to have like a steady clientele.
Yeah.
Like I've been off for about maybe 6 months now, 7 months. So I'm pretty busy because people know I'm home. But it takes 6, 7 months for people to realize I'm back. And then by the time they realize I'm getting ready to leave for tour again. So nobody wants somebody like that. Everybody wants, you know, somebody's going to make them money, you know? So that was my main focus on opening the shop and giving a place for my friends to be, you know? It wasn't always about money. And now, you know, the money's up and down. The economy's kind of crazy, but it's ours and it's fucking great. I love
Can't
it.
download a tattoo though. That's the cool shit.
Yes.
Kind of recession proof.
You would think so, but that's getting proven wrong.
I've seen that one machine, that video that it like just punches the fucking photo into the skin.
Yeah.
And also with the like shitty, like we've all got pretty fucking good tattoos here.
Yeah.
The shitty like fashion of tattoos at the moment where it's like the thin line fucking.
I don't want to talk bad about the things that people have on their body.
Come on.
But here's
that's
what
all you do.
But here's what I'm going to say. Yeah, I'm not on camera. But here's what I'm going to say. Longevity will prove. I will bet you that as these people get older with their tattoos, I make a lot of money repairing, fixing. And
Like tribal.
I love tribal. Don't talk bad about
No,
tribal.
but tribal when you didn't love tribal 5 years ago.
I fucking love making money, dude. You know how
Yeah,
easy.
I know you love the tribal
is
era.
Tribal is like the easiest drum beat that you can play. Imagine getting
Which
paid.
is what? The
What-
easiest
what's
drum
the one?
beat?
Wow.
If you had, like,
Come on, drummer.
If you had to pick, what would be the most simple?
Well, some Phil Roth, AC/DC.
God,
You know,
That's tribal.
You know, just that's tribal.
Have you got any tribal?
What happened?
Have you got any tribal?
I don't.
Have you?
I don't have any. I
Either
want
do
it.
I. So it's
I want-
not
Not
good.
sure.
I want
I'm
like
not
a
sure.
ironic tribal tattoo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
not good. You like it because it's ironic.
No, but
and
then you
it's
got
easy.
dudes like Lou Zaletta. Am I saying the name right? I think so, right? Yeah, he's just like this incredible.
Kerry
like,
King?
Kerry King's tattoos are awesome.
They are sick.
When I
But
saw
only
that,
That's
because
what I'm
it's-
saying.
Yeah.
Like Lou Zaletta was like he's like known for like the tribal, like big part of the tribal movement in the States. Like
He's got a few Paul Booth pieces. Right here.
Paul Booth was another one. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
black
but
work
Paul
stuff.
Booth kind of like it wasn't like tribal.
No.
No,
It's
he
just
did like
dark and evil.
creepy tats, but he did all of Kerry King's tribal.
When I was a kid, all I wanted was Paul Booth tattoos.
Yeah.
And then I like,
Dude,
was
Paul
just like,
Booth
no,
was-
I just want traditional.
I got to meet him, and he was just like the nicest dude. And then you go look at his tats, you're like, God, it's so like it's like the devil. You know what I mean? Like, and then there's dudes like Bob Tyrell that also pull that style, like incredible tattooers. I think tattooing moves through phases the same way music and movies and all of those things. Like traditional tattooing for a long time, nobody cared. Everybody had like biker tats in the 80s and early 90s. And then, you know, big like new school tattoos happened in like the 90s into the 2000s. And then that classic style came back like late 90s, 2000s. And more people started doing traditional and neo-traditional tattooing. So I think it moves in waves. And I love that. I think it's beautiful. If I could, one year I do a bunch of tribal, the next year I do a bunch of something. It's just cool. It's fucking cool.
Have you got any insane tattoos?
Insane how?
Weird or
Maybe not.
you got nothing?
I got some like 90s new school stuff that's pretty wild. Like on the front of my shin, like this big crazy demon with like this comic book.
Nah, I'm talking
thing.
like dicks and
Nah,
like you
no.
got nothing. You got anything?
I got the word
anything
tits
wacky?
tattooed on me.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Just the word tits.
It's a heart with a banner that says tits. And then a friend of mine from New Jersey, she has a heart with a banner that says ass.
Nice.
And it was just done as like a joke thing.
I don't think I have any either, but I feel like I want one.
I worked at this shop in New Jersey called White Lotus Tattoo. And I left the door open, but put the alarm on. So the wind blew the door open and the alarm went off. And I did it twice in like a month because I have been leaving the shop late. So they made me, as a punishment, get a key tattooed on my hand here. So I got that. If you look right here,
Where is it?
hang on. Right there, you can see the half key going in and out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
that
cool.
were like, this will fucking remind you to not be. And
Was that when you were apprentice?
No, I had been tattooing for a couple of years, but it was like a good goof, you know?
funny.
And I just rolled with it because it was funny as hell.
We had a nice little day yesterday, didn't we?
We did.
What did we do?
We went to the Metal Fest, New England Metal and Hardcore, and I got to see a bunch of good friends, and good friends' bands played.
The lineup was crazy.
It was crazy.
It was a little bit like, for me, it was a little bit prophetic because I go through stages of listening to Converge, usually when I'm in mental dire straits.
Understood.
And,
Which is 3-4 times a month.
Yeah, no, it's once a month at least. But this whole last week, all I did was listen to Converge. I was like, fuck it. That Converge is my emo music.
Sure.
And then fucking things worked out. I had to cancel plans. I had to do all this other stuff. And then it ends up I'm at the Metal Fest watching Converge. And they played every song I wanted to fucking hear.
Yep. They were great. I
Who
think
else did you see?
the hard thing about it was there were so many bands that I wanted to see. I was sacrificing every set.
Every band on that stage I wanted to watch.
Yeah. And then like Zabalba played and Missing Link played. And there was just so many bands, so many friends. Machine Head played, Killswitch played, like all these bands playing at the same time that I just wanted to see them all. So I had to like sacrifice. I'm bummed that I missed a few sets, but it was the same thing I always do. I'm like, okay, I saw this band not too long ago, so I'll go see this band. But that's the hard thing about a festival, you know, picking and choosing who's the most important to see.
I fucked up, right?
But we did watch Will's bands, both of them.
No, this is how I fucked up.
I'm listening.
I got really hungry around 3:00. Brendan,
After we had lunch,
what did we have for lunch?
we went to the Abbey.
Yeah, it wasn't lunch. You had a real lunch. I had
did.
like a little bowl
But
of
I knew-
hash or whatever.
I knew that I wasn't going to get to eat again, so I had.
So I didn't eat that much, and I got hungry around maybe 3:30, and then Brendan was like, "Oh, I'm going to Cane's with my friend.
Oh, yeah,
We'll be back in time for Better Lovers." We were not back in time for Better Lovers, and then the first I see Jordan, he was like, "How was it?" And I couldn't do it. I couldn't lie.
I like
great.
honesty.
I had to go. I shook my head, and he was like, "Oh my god, that bad?" And I was like, "I went to Cane's, bro." But I saw them really recently, so that's fine.
You know-
but I feel so fucking bad. I just did the podcast with them. I wanted to see them.
I'm going to say something crazy.
Go.
I was here for both rehearsals, both End and Better Lovers. I got to sit, and you were here too. Both of those bands practice for like 8 minutes and then play perfect sets.
I mean, 8 minutes is the entire end set anyway.
Well, it's like twice the end set. Well, they played a half an hour.
Yeah.
And
All of their songs.
all,
15 songs.
all 15 of their songs in a half an hour. But, you know, I love that stuff. Like Drop Dead's like one of my favorite bands for that. They were just great. Matt is such a monster drummer. And then to see Better Lovers get up and do something completely different and will be able to mentally lock into two different sets, like they played an hour and a half apart from each other. And it was just like,
Yeah, of course.
like right there, there's something about that, you know, like, cause I feel like I have to lock in
Of course, yeah.
to some kind of certain mentality to play the fit stuff, you know, and just watching Will like shift gears. It's impressive,
Two
man.
completely different bands.
I'm not kissing my friend's ass, but it's,
I mean, you are.
it's pretty nuts.
I've got a theory about Will, though.
I have the same theory. It's the one we argued about on the way up there.
Oh, not that theory. Not that dude. My theory is like when we were all fucking touring, he was sat in a chair.
He was at home perfecting it.
He was perfecting the music and the production.
Yeah.
So like
Now he's
20. Like in touring years, he's 21.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, let's go. Oh yeah, we'll all get in the van. Like,
Yeah.
And we're all
doesn't
tired
care
and
about
broken.
doesn't care about a bus, doesn't care about
Yeah.
that shit. Why do you think he doesn't come play with Fit?
I think it's a couple of things. I think one, at this point, we're a pretty well-oiled machine live, and to add a cog might make it tough.
Sorry, if anyone doesn't know, Will Putney is in Fit for an Autopsy.
Yeah, Will Putney is the principal writer in Fit for an Autopsy.
but he doesn't tour.
He doesn't tour. We all do our jobs. We all write our parts. We all get involved. But Will is the creative guy.
He's the mind.
You know, I talk about this all the time. Like, we catch heat for it. Oh, Will Putney, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, do you know how many bands, number one, are paying producers to actually write songs for them.
Yeah.
So don't.
Wait, what do you mean you get a lot of heat? What's the heat?
People will be like, "Oh yeah, this guy's in the band, but he doesn't tour," and it's like that's not real. He writes all the music, and it's like there's always one guy in every
It's
band.
every band on
It's
it.
every band is like that. I'm sure.
The straight as
Tom
two is me and Tom.
You and Tom, but you're the drummer, so Tom's writing every riff. You're not writing guitar parts. You're writing drums, right? Maybe sometimes.
I write Meshuggah.
Okay, well there
I
you
write
go.
Meshuggah because it's just one note.
Right, it's one note.
But yeah, it's
you write patterns.
Majority me and Tom, and then
For
everyone.
example, with me, whoever knows what Will does,
And Will, actually, sorry.
whoever knows what Will does,
Yes.
he programs drums. And when I listen to those songs, I don't have to worry about anything other than being able to perform it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they're great ideas. He's thinking about great songs, not necessarily great drum parts or whatever. It's the whole song that it's important. So at home, I'm freaking out because I'm listening to some very difficult stuff that he just programmed.
Yeah.
But I don't have to worry about anything. I know that whatever he sends me is going to be awesome.
Sick.
And that's going to be
And
what
then it's
ends
just
up
gonna-
on the record
I'm
rather than
the
you
one-
learn it and then you go with it.
It pushes us.
I have to figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
And
But
a
you
lot
do
of-
it note for note. You learn exactly what he writes.
I try to. I try to, at least in the studio, I have to respect that he did what he did, that he's creating something, and I remove myself from it. And I try to give him whatever he wants. Sometimes it's not easy, as you might know.
Oh, yeah.
It's so
You can do it.
crushing.
You
It's
can do
so
it.
it's so crushing.
You can do it. That's the line.
But it is what it is. And I just follow him because I don't know how to make records. I'm just trying to make the boys happy with whatever drums I can perform. And he pushes me to do stuff that I still don't think I can do properly every night.
Yeah.
In that sense, it's a challenge. In the beginning, it felt weird for me because I just didn't know the dynamics of that. I didn't know that that's what bands did. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Everybody thinks it's a band in a room writing
People
songs.
still think that. Like,
It's such a
when I'm
lie.
like, I'm in a band in America, they're like, oh, how do you have band practice?
Yeah.
Well,
The day
you show
before
up
the
ready,
fucking
yeah.
tour.
4 days before the tour,
Yeah.
I fly in.
I don't practice with them to learn the songs.
Yeah, we know the
Whenever we
songs.
meet, I have to have it.
Yeah.
We just perfect them.
Have you got a setup in Puerto Rico for your kit?
Yep. And slowly I've been building it closer to what I use here, so I can. Right now I practice with garbage because I like trying to make garbage sound good. So when I come up here and I have all the technology available in the
Yeah.
world, it's easy.
I love that.
It's
I do that
easy.
as well, especially if you just using
Yeah.
pads or something.
Yeah,
and then you
easy.
get that little fire in your belly. When
I don't
you get
even
on
have a
real kit that
computer yet.
sounds good.
I don't have a computer yet. I just learn it by ear. Try to figure it out. When I come up here, that I'm able to dial in that world, I perfect the little things. But I know the song. I know exactly how it goes. I can play all the kicks. So whenever I turn on my trigger, easy. I don't have to.
Oh yeah, no triggers, practice, and then go
Real-
play.
absolutely.
Real drumming.
I only
to
use triggers live.
drumming.
I only use triggers live. I practice with just a drum set and my.
I thought about switching to triggers live just for fun.
Well, you know what
I
it
like
is?
the way they
It's-
sound.
they sound great. I like the idea. Okay, so it's cheating. Like, no.
It is not cheating.
I'll
We've
tell you the
proven
thing.
that.
It's
You-
kind of cheating if you do doubles.
Yeah, sure. But
kinda cheating,
But
I'm sorry.
listen, here's the thing.
I'm right.
I
I'm
hate
fucking,
doubles,
yeah, I'm
so
fucking
yeah,
right.
I agree with you.
Here's the thing I'm gonna say. Not every room sounds the same. Not every sound system sounds the same. Not every microphone sounds the same. But you want to know what? His kick will sound the same every night.
Yeah.
If you're triggering a snare, it's gonna sound the fucking same every night. And my guitar tone. The reason I don't use cabs and mics anymore, and as much as I staunchly stood against it for such a long time, and I said to everybody, until I find something I truly like, I will use cabs and I will use heads. Now my guitars sound the same every fucking night. There's no microphone, no bad cable, no bullshit. It's just what it is. So having the ability to have his kick, we use a mic. He gets 70% from the mic, and that 30% on top with the click, it changes the game.
It's also up to the engineer to decide if he needs it or not.
And it means if you have I assume you don't travel with a monitor engineer.
No.
So
Well, we're all ears and we run our ears
It helps
ourselves.
so
them
you
to
can have the
lock
same,
in,
you
Same
can just
ears
have trigger
every
if
night.
you want. It's
But in the
same
front,
fucking
for
sound.
example, if we have someone like Woody, he will use it at his discretion. You know, if he feels like this room doesn't need it and we're killing it with just the mic, it's up to him.
Yep.
I
And
just
he's
want-
also cut the mic.
I just
and just
want
done triggers.
I just want to have all the options.
Or if
Yeah.
the mic cable goes,
Yep. It's no problem.
trigger.
Pop the
Correct.
trigger
Or
in,
vice
figure it
versa.
out.
Or
Yeah.
vice versa.
Yep. And having those options changes the game for you live. Everybody always says Fit sounds incredible live. We sound incredible because we have Will, because we have Woody, because we had Cam before Woody, and people that taught us different things, showed us different ways. Hey, this band does this band does that. It's a constant learning curve.
And I haven't always being able to think like this. I'm super old school, and I had the
Yeah.
pride of never using triggers, and I also don't worry about playing that fast, so I feel like I don't need it.
yeah.
But man, there's bad nights where I'm tired. We just flew in, I'm jet lag, and I might need a little help that night to give the kids whatever they deserve.
And also, the sort of bills that you guys play,
Yeah.
you don't want to be the only band without triggers because to the person in the crowd,
That's
they
the
just
sound
go,
is good.
that drummer is worse.
He sucks.
Yeah, because they're not getting that sound
Also-
that they hear at
Well,
home.
because of these bands that we tour with and how much they use
That's the
digital.
standard, yeah, that's the standard.
There's this new industry standard that if you don't sound like the record, the days of throwing an extra breakdown on the end of something are gone because we have to use a click, and it does suck the life out of the live show a little bit, but we sound like the CD.
I do
every
play better.
fucking day.
I play better with just the mic.
Yeah.
Meaning that whenever I'm very conscious about having the triggers, I have to play different. You have to approach it different. But lately, I've been not worrying about it. It's up to the engineer.
Why do you have to approach it differently?
I can play way dumber when I'm just playing with the with
Is it like
just mic.
double triggering and stuff
Correct.
like that? Yeah.
When I'm using triggers, I have to be more precise and balanced, different. But when I don't have it, I can just go full on without any concerns. But there's always parts during the set that whenever I go on YouTube and listen, I can hear those little tiny kicks.
yeah.
That's where we use the trigger, Yeah. So it will be up to the engineer. If it's a super fast double part, he can raise it,
It is super important to have an engineer that moves with the band.
Yeah.
on
Correct.
stage.
They
Bumps up the snare
dance.
reverb on a breakdown.
It's the same thing with guitar solos.
another
You
instrument.
Eventually the engineer knows where Pat needs a little more volume to show his stuff.
My
it's
bullshit.
some shit.
We might as well talk about your fucking music then. While we're nearly talking about your music,
Let's
we're
go.
talking about it live. October 25th.
new record.
The Nothing That Is.
Yeah, mate.
Good, is it? I mean, I've heard it.
It's okay.
What do you mean it's okay?
Yeah, it's fucking great.
You know what I noticed? The first thing I noticed on it? It's a fucking At the Gate style song.
Oh, there is.
That was the one that popped out to me. I was like, oh, we're in
Savior.
Sweden now.
Savior of None, Ashes of All. It's a single, and it's great. Bouncy, heavy, groovy. It does all the melodic death metal-y things that I like. It's really good. We're all huge At the Gates fans, and we can go dig way deep into the melodic death metal thing that we like. But yeah, we pull a lot of influence from them in general. You might not hear it as much because sometimes it goes back to like even earlier versions of At the Gates that they're pulling from like Morbid Angel and Carcass and all these bands, and we're all pulling from that stuff too. So those bands influence the shit out of us, but that style of playing is so fun. I always feel like Fit Records have like a multitude of different styles.
Oh, 100%.
Our songs there's always like a thing that ties them together, but you can hear like maybe what Will's really influenced by at that moment.
I'm glad you mentioned that because as a drummer, it's very satisfying for me. Because if I can be honest, I don't listen to deathcore. I have never listened to deathcore. I'm a punk rock drummer. I love death metal. I love thrash. So when I joined Fit, I was able to just play everything because they wanted the hardcore breakdowns, the death metal parts, the punk beats, and I'm like, oh, very satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you listen to our records, it's a lot of everything.
I think that's why I got stoked when like deathcore came out, and I know at the time all the fucking death metal elitists didn't like it and all this stuff. But in my head, I was like, I love death metal and I love hardcore, and they've put the two together. Like,
Yeah.
Well, if you go back and start listening to like early New York hardcore bands, like early stuff, like Demise, who a buddy of mine played guitar in, he was also in Madball, this dude Beto. He was in Asphyxiation, and they were like fucking metal band, you know? And then Demise happened, and then Marauder happened, and Marauder is just like a death metal, real straightforward death metal band, accepted in the hardcore scene. And then bands like All Out War, 100 Demons, all these metal influenced hardcore bands.
and then you got like Suffocation with breakdowns.
With
hardcore influences. Yeah.
listen, that's where I was going with this. You go back and you listen to early Morbid Angel, Suffocation, all of those records have breakdowns, all of them. So like the death metal argument, like, breakdowns, it's not in real death metal. I'm like, what real death metal are you listening to? Because I've seen all of these bands in their heyday, and like bands like IBE and like all those bands that like spawned in that third generation maybe ish. They're all Obituary has break. They're all heavy fucking bands. I think what it was, and I'm gonna say this, and I've never said this before, but I really believe this. It's because deathcore dudes didn't look like death metal dudes. And it was this weird thing where
they were getting pussy.
Yeah, they were getting pussy.
Bro, yeah.
It was this weird thing where like death metal dudes were like feeling like they were being invaded. Like these people were coming into their world,
stealing their women.
Didn't belong.
Like a Viking.
I don't know. I'm not gonna overly sexualize this conversation.
Oh, stop!
But what
you on camera is so fucking funny.
What I will say is that you're right. You know, dudes with white belts and like weird haircuts are like better at guitar than, you know, grimy death metal dudes.
You just described Ian Watkins, so we're not going to go down that one.
But you understand my point. Like, you have these really talented guitar players that don't look like they belong there. And then you had bands like Necrophagist where like Mohammed was just
a guy.
It was just a dude. He looked like he could be your accountant. And then he got on stage and it was and singing and play. And I think it intimidated people. It intimidated your like regular death metaler.
Think about Necrophagist every day.
They're so good. I know.
Just come back, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. You want to know what? I heard the dude's doing pretty good.
Mercedes-Benz.
Living his life, or BMW or something. One of those fancy
German ones.
Engineering company. Like,
well,
you know what?
I've told it on the podcast before. I don't know if it was on our one. Maybe you actually heard from me.
Maybe.
But I toured with him in like 2006.
Yeah.
And his parents didn't know that he was on tour in a band.
Really? Awesome.
And he worked I'm pretty sure it was Mercedes. And he would tell them that he was on a work trip. And then he would go and be in this huge death metal band.
Huge. And you know, like,
That's cool.
Look at how many bands spawned from that.
None as good. No one's as good as Necrophagist. In that technical death metal thing, he's like fucking Mozart.
He is. But I think the thing that I didn't love, like Necrophagist is a band that Josean knows. I really like that band. But like after a while, I could only listen to like half a record because it was so much. That it was unrelentingly heavy.
You needed a breakdown.
But then you had like Beneath the Massacre that
breakdown
did the thing that he did differently, but still technically there. And then the breakdown. And it was a lot. And it was so fucking heavy. But everybody forgets about that band.
I don't.
Woo.
That song Nevermore with the late snare. Do you remember that came out? If you don't know, Beneath the Massacre had a song with a breakdown. And the snare was so fucking late. It was almost out of time.
You were like, it's like it missed the train.
Yeah, it was like,
I'm here.
And there was like a brief period of 6 months where every other band did it after that.
Yeah, of course.
But none of them were as good.
It was never as good.
Bring that back.
What's
I think
that
Stray
song?
did it. I think I stole that All Day and the Night, the breakdown on that.
Yeah.
I was like, let's make the snare really late. No one noticed.
I mean,
because it wasn't as good.
It's just one of those things, man. And so I really believe, and rightfully so, that death metal dudes like felt a certain kind of way because they created a world that was so looked down upon. And then you have these haircut guys with their, you know, things going on, their tight jeans and the, you know, looking super pretty, coming up and making it popular in a way where it was never popular for them. And I understand that kind of like disassociation, like why you would want to be separated from that. But I also think that like things evolve, you know, and metal and hardcore, like punk rock became hardcore punk, became hardcore, became metalcore, became deathcore. Like hardcore is ever changing.
And I like it all.
I like it all.
Every face. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like the older you get, the more you just realize
Absolutely,
I
yes.
like all of
Absolutely.
this. Because
When I was younger, I was-
We need a reason to argue when you're young.
You get into it and you're like, that's not the real thing. This is the, I only like this one. And then you get older and I'm like, oh, this is
really good.
It all depends on
Yeah.
how I wake up a certain day. Like some days I want to listen to old punk, and then tomorrow I wake up at like the most death metal dude, and next day I'm listening to jazz.
Mine goes in seasons.
Absolutely.
I'm like, and it's the two that stay the same every time. So, beginning of fall, I'm on a insane.
Typo negative.
No, I mean that's year round.
Yeah, you're right.
Insane Opeth. Kick.
Okay, sure.
Like the minute pumpkin spice lattes are on the menu in Starbucks, I'm on an Opeth.
Blackwater
kick.
Park on
Yeah,
immediately.
and then when it gets into true winter, I'm in my black metal.
Yeah.
And then start of spring, death metal.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I never got black metal. Couple bands here and there.
Who were the couple?
I like 1349.
Yeah.
It's just
Hellfire. Great.
really
album.
scary. And like, yeah, I like
Frost
that.
rules though.
Yeah.
Unbelievable
And,
drummer.
you know, some of the Dark Throne stuff.
No Emperor?
Production always scared me away.
Oh, you talked to that dude recently, right?
Emperor's great.
My fucking
They're
boy.
great, but like I like the newer stuff better because it's
Prometheus.
The
Prometheus had the
production's
death metal production.
It's so much better.
You should check out Ishan's solo stuff.
Okay.
Just sounds like Emperor with good production.
Yeah, I like some of it.
Dream rules.
Also, there's a lot of the racism.
Well, that's a whole other thing,
That throws
dude.
me off a lot of black metal.
Give me a break. Like, come on. Like, there's no reason for that. It's not unnecessary.
Yeah, I agree though, but the black metal I do love.
Cradle of Filth.
Love Cradle of Filth.
Yeah, and theatrical black metal.
So anything symphonic, I'm fucking
Yeah, I'm in.
Dimmu Borgir.
Yeah,
Cradle of Filth.
Dimmu's the best.
I love
But
Dimmu.
Dimmu, I will
back and be
argue.
good, though.
I will argue that Dimmu is not a black metal band. I will say that they are a symphonic death metal band. It's more death metal-y to me because it's got.
First two are black metal.
I don't know.
They're black metal to me.
I think it's on the cusp enough that I love it. What's the name of that record? Puritanical.
With Nick Barker.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I got to see them at.
But that's the thing, that one and the one after it, and then I don't care.
But it's got a lot of death metal influence. And I think Nick is the reason because it's like the drums are chaos. And like,
I got tattooed next to him before,
Dude,
and I didn't even know he was in the same thing.
We met him on the Sepultura tour we did with them. And he's the sickest dude. I've been buddies with him
Wait,
ever
who was
since.
he playing for? Lockup?
No, he just came to hang out.
Yeah,
he was
cool.
playing for Lockup at the time, but he just came to hang out because he's buddies with the Goat
He's
Whore guys.
fucked right now.
Yeah, he's not
Got
doing
fucking
so
kidney.
good.
No, when I
shit.
saw him in person, I got intimidated because
Yeah, he looks like a New York hardcore guy.
I was like, "Oh, that's Nick Barker."
I was getting tattooed. It was like this tattoo was like my third tattoo or something,
Mm-hmm.
and I was getting tattooed, and some guy was telling all these stories next to me, and I couldn't see because I was in pain. I was like fucking 18 years old,
Yeah.
and he was telling all these stories, and then I managed to the whole thing. I figured out as a drummer, and I was just like, without even turning around, I was like, "Is that Nick Barker behind me?" And then like he was stoked because like I knew who he was
Yeah.
or whatever. He was really nice. But like Dimmu. Yeah, those two albums, I love them.
They're
And then,
great.
like, I like tracks off the ones after it.
Yeah,
Just come back and be good. You know the story with Nicolas Cage?
go on.
Oh my God, if you don't know this story,
I
then
th-
I'm going to hit you with this story. I don't know if this is an exclusive. I fucking hope not.
Let's go.
I think
This
I
is
know
what
something.
I heard.
This is the rumor.
This is the rumor. So, Nicolas Cage's son, big black metal fan, he's got a band, I can't remember what they're called. Nicolas Cage takes him to see Dimmu Borgir. Shagrath and Nicolas Cage's wife hit it off. She leaves Nicolas Cage for Shagrath from Dimmu Borgir.
Sick.
Pretty crazy.
I don't think they're together now, but if
We're
you
back
like,
to
if
the
you got, if you
adultery
go on
again?
with, if you got back to adultery, if you're gonna do it with a black metal guy.
I guess so.
You think
He's
she
got
heard
a
the
spell.
riffs?
Yeah, she heard the riffs.
Yeah, she had the riffs and went. Well, it might be some like
Sick
voodoo shit.
Yeah, crazy.
But yeah, that's
Shagrath's beautiful. Though. Have you seen?
yeah.
it?
He's
Nice
yeah,
looking guy.
but so's Nicolas Cage. Come on,
Nick Cage is
Nick
great.
Cage. And I
dude.
feel like that was like maybe it was Nick Cage. Like
I like weird actors a lot. Nick Cage is a weird actor.
Have you seen Dream Scenario?
I haven't seen Dream Scenario.
It's fucking awesome.
I want to, but that pig movie,
I haven't seen it.
it's fucking incredible. Basically, it's like about he was in the restaurant industry, broken chef, got a truffle pig, and that was his career. And somebody steals the pig, and it's just like goes down this rabbit hole. It's
He's on some wacky movies at the moment, and I
that
love
weird
it.
movie he did with the animatronic, possessed animatronic animals, like Willy's Wonderland or something like that. It's incredible.
I need to stock up on
Yeah,
them.
Nick Cage has been getting it lately. Am I a cuck?
No, so,
for you, yes.
Yeah, no. So, are you a cuck though for Will? Like, is Will pulling all the strings?
It depends on how you want to look at it. I think creatively, Will pulls 80% of the strings. I have a lot to do with imagery. We agree a lot when it comes to like subject matter for lyrics, and we talk about all that stuff. We decide kind of like where we want to go with the lyrics. Lots of like current social events. We're not, writing about getting chased through the woods by a murderer. Like,
Which Fitz always been.
yeah, we've always been a pretty outwardly political with our lyrics, and
But I feel like you get away with it because no one knows.
I think if they went in and read a little bit more,
I think you'd lose
they could-
fans.
I don't think we'd lose fans. But you know what? Here's the funny thing.
I think you'd lose fans.
Well, whether or not we would lose fans,
I don't think we care that much.
I don't think we care.
Good.
If you don't want to
That's
fucking,
the same with us. Like,
okay,
we
well,
wouldn't
we were
lose fans
just-
because
we were just
we've
talking
got it
about-
like here.
yeah, we were just talking about black metal and some of the things that they do, and I know a lot of people that listen to that music that are not like that.
Yeah.
So it's like you're gonna lose fans because like we believe in something that's maybe different than you. Like that's the whole point of living in a country with freedom. It's the whole point of being here. So we can have different points of view, discuss them, and be reasonable people. Like, yeah, if you're a hateful, fucking piece of shit, then sure, I got no time for you. But we can have a disagreement about something and talk about it. But like Black Mammoth is a really great example. Like we released that song, and
Black Mammoth's the one about indigenous.
it's about the oil companies
Yes.
and all the crazy stuff that was happening. And, we talked about, we made a video specifically showcasing what was going on in Standing Rock at the time, right? Yeah. So we put the video out, put the song out. It's one of our biggest songs. And then we made a statement about something political that had happened that we felt strongly about. And somebody was like, don't get too political because you're going to lose fans. And my response was, have you ever read any of our lyrics?
Yeah, since literally
Like,
day
we
one.
don't hide it.
And from
You
my
know?
experience with that stuff is like, yeah, you go on YouTube and you see maybe one or two comments that are like, oh, you just disappointed me or whatever. But then you go on tour and people come to you and they're like, oh my God, thank you for making that song.
Yeah.
So it's
I'd
like,
much rather be on the nicer side of things.
Sure.
Not like, no
Yeah.
one comes up to you and goes, oh my God, thank you for not taking a stand.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. And it's one thing to like have a disagreement and you don't want to listen to my band. That's okay. I'm fine.
Correct. I don't listen
I'm
to
okay
a
with
lot of
that.
bands, yeah.
There's a lot of things a lot of black metal I don't listen to because some of the lyrical content hurts my feelings. And it's okay. I mean, it's not okay that it exists. I don't like it, but it's okay for me not to like it, and we can have a difference of opinion and it's fine. And I don't understand that thinking. We're pretty political, but in a way where we write the lyrics so you can kind of attach whatever feeling to it you want. Like we have a lot of songs on this new record that are clearly leaning into stuff.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, then that's great. But part of the great part of what I do and where we live and the things that we have is being able to speak out. We don't live in a place where if you say something, you're going to get picked up and put away. Like you have the ability to do that. So if you don't like it, fuck you. I'm going to do what I want.
absolutely.
Fuck off. You don't want to buy the record? Sick. Somebody else will buy it. You don't want to come hang out with us and have a good time at our show? Awesome.
What's the standout political song on this record?
There's a couple.
What you got? Just give me the headlines.
Red Horizon, Weaker Wolves.
What are they about?
Red Horizon's about the conflict in Gaza. And I'm just going to leave it there.
Yep.
Weaker Wolves.
Listen to it. Read the lyrics.
Read the lyrics.
Get the
listen.
double meanings.
I promise you there's no missing it. You will know.
Cool.
Weaker Wolves is about standing up against authority.
Is it a Stray song?
It might be. It's brutal.
Drums are cool on
It's
that one. though.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's probably the most aggressive song on the record, I would say. It's one of. It's fucking heavy and like
What makes the drum so cool?
The tempo.
Yeah.
It
What
has
tempo we got? 180?
I'm not sure. I don't know the numbers really. I don't pay attention to that, but it feels great to play.
The
Great
tom
groove.
part.
There's a lot of
It's fucking-
toms, like
it's
like
cool.
That's
hella
about
weights.
that's
like,
about 140.
Yeah, it's-
Lifting music.
Yeah, it's got all the stuff.
it feel when I heard the pre-pro, I was like, hell yeah. And recording it felt great.
The lyrics are really good. Joe does like a lot of really cool, interesting things with his vocals on this. That like
know what you're saying.
the way he enunciates words, and
Yeah.
there's like a talky part, like like the weird Pantera talky part thing.
Yeah.
Like it's got like some of that, and it's like fucking heavy and pissed, and like it's just about taking a stand against authority who has been taking a stand against civilians forever. And there's some real one-liners in there.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good. Joe's like the nicest dude, but when he gets behind a microphone, something different comes out of him, and you can hear the frustration in it, and like he understands what it's about, and it's a really cool one.
Demon time.
Yeah, it's time to let it out. And I think Joe is like I think this record is all about Joe. It's one of the most impressive performances I've ever seen him do. There's so many different angles and so many different cool things with his voice. There's like interesting vocal patterns and like interesting I guess reaches for different styles of vocal. Like he does some singing, he does some lows, brother. There are some fucking lows on this record.
What kind of lows are we talking? Like a
No, it doesn't get like guttural.
Doesn't get disgorged?
But it gets like almost there where Joe's really good at like enunciating so you can understand him. But there's a couple that it gets borderline on this. It's really good. I'm proud of this record in a lot of ways. The solos are great. Tim and I actually play a solo back to back in a song, which is like the most metal shit ever. We trade off.
Are you going to go back to back on stage?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
We already do it now, but we're gonna back to back rip the solo.
Van Halen shit.
Yeah, Josean went above and beyond. Like everybody, Blue did some cool shit. Like it's really cool. Will like really wrote a record that he like gave us room to do what we needed to do. But Joe really fucking killed it, man. I'm proud of it.
So by the time this comes out, you'll be on your US tour. You'll be halfway through your US tour. When
Yeah,
this
sounds
comes
about
out.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any songs you're like apprehensive about playing? I'm thinking more you, like drum part wise, but
There will be
question
one-
also to you.
There will be one that has a lot of double kicks
Yeah.
that it's very difficult for me to perform. I use it as a workout to, as a warm up, if you
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
I don't remember the name of it, but people will hear it. I think it's the second track or whatever.
EQ.
Yeah.
That
Come on,
one,
relax.
that one's challenging. It scares me because I've had my own issues with my legs through the years.
Yeah, you were pre-knee surgery last time you came on the podcast.
Correct.
And then you did it. You want to talk about that? What happened? Double knee surgery?
Yeah, because of the abuse of through my whole life of being in bands and not taking care of myself. I was very good at pushing, and numbing the pain and doing everything to numb the pain, but not address it.
Yeah.
Josean's very stubborn. And he
Correct.
refuses to ask for help.
And as I mentioned before, I've had pride on playing hard and all
Yeah.
that, which is cool, and it got me somewhere. But I stopped taking care of myself. So during the pandemic, I had to address some issues in my knees with the meniscus and arthritis and all that shit. So I had to relearn how to approach the drums and my
Shit, you
relationship
had
with
to
it.
relearn how to walk.
Relearn how to walk.
Kind of good timing though. Pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good and bad.
both
Both good and bad because we were like writing and recording a record and it had to get done at that very particular
Absolutely.
time.
Yeah, because I remember there was talk of Eloy doing it.
There was some discussion with Eloy.
Yeah.
It didn't work out.
Yeah.
And Matt did the record.
Yeah.
And thank God he did
Absolutely.
because,
Which one was that? The last one?
yeah.
So we don't
What
care.
the future holds.
We're over that now.
Well,
Yeah,
your
we're
boy's back, but
I
Matt, isn't it? Doesn't it suck when Matt fills in for you? He's done it for me.
so good at
Absolutely.
He's
like,
such a fucking freak.
Imagine-
It pisses me off.
yeah.
for drummers, imagine this scenario. I'm trying to learn how to walk, but I also have to learn mad parts. If I want the gig back,
Yeah.
the band couldn't stop. The band had to keep rolling, and I had no way to know if I was gonna be able to do it again.
Yeah.
At
That's
the time,
depressing.
it
hard.
sucked for me. Like
Yeah.
I think you and I got a lot closer during that. I
It
think,
sucked. It sucked. I had to.
Yeah.
I had to figure it out.
Watching him go through that was tough because Josean's a very prideful dude and he takes pride in his hard work. He's also very stubborn, doesn't like asking for help, tries to do it all on his own, which is great to be in a band with somebody like that because I don't have to worry about him. I know he's going to be tip top every time. But the hard part about that is that when something bad is happening, he's also not asking for help. So he went through this mental thing where he was convinced he was going to lose his job. And at first we were fighting a lot because I couldn't wrap myself around what was happening. And then one day I was talking to my wife and she looked at me and she goes, "It sounds like he's afraid of something." And then I called him and I talked to him and I was like, "Dude, I'm not going to fire you. Like, I want you in my band. Like, I don't want anybody that is currently in Fit for an Autopsy to ever leave. It's the best group of people I've ever been around on a daily basis."
So
And
they did wait for me. I had to
did.
get it together.
yeah.
But now you're back and you're ripping it because I've heard it.
Well,
and
it
I've
took
seen
him
it.
took him being a little bit of a bitch on the road. And
Absolutely.
me having to be like, "Hey, bro, I'll fucking send you home if you talk like that again."
Why? What kind of bitch stuff?
Can I tell it?
You can tell whatever you want.
Okay. I want to make sure. He was having a real hard time connecting to the record because he felt like he didn't get to do something that was very important to him. Recording and writing these songs and doing this thing is, I think it's like Josean's like swan song thing. Every time at the end of a record, he has
That's my trophy.
It's his trophy.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
his
You made it.
pride.
That stays
Oh,
whenever.
So we were
once I die, that stays. You know.
we were first week out, or no, it was the first week of the record. We got
The
our
release
numbers
week,
back,
yeah.
and we were all really happy. And there was a text message, and I'm not going to get into particulars, but Josean, I think, needed this to happen, and he, in a way that was taken disrespectfully by everyone. And knowing now, maybe I would have been a little softer about it, knowing what I know now. He said, "I have no attachment to this record. Like, it's great for you guys, but..."
That's what I just said.
Yeah, but you wanna know what my response
I told
was?
them, like, I'm happy for you guys.
Yeah, my response was, because it came off in a way where we were all, because we had all done so much to keep him, and we just felt like he didn't understand how much he means to us as like a friend and a bandmate and like a business partner, because it's a business, you know, and I don't want to lose him. You know, he's been in it, other than me and Will, the longest.
Yeah.
You know, he's my dude. And he got me so pissed in the way he reacted and like the way he interacted with us. I asked him, I said, "You know how much a plane ticket from Seattle to Puerto Rico costs?" And he goes, "No." I said, "Well, I do." And he looked at me. I was like, "We need to have a talk."
I see myself in both of you.
Yeah.
I'd have done both of these things.
I was so fucking mad because the guy I love and I would give money to and fly to Puerto Rico to help and do anything for, like, he didn't believe that I cared about him that much. That's why I got so upset. And it became a thing where after the conversation, I think we're closer dudes. Like now, I think he gets me more as a guy and as a person that loves him. And I think I understand him more and his dedication to himself, his craft in this project. And, you know, those are the things people miss about bands on tour.
But it was good that I went through that shit because it helped me.
And I think
But
you know how much loyalty we have.
It sucked
was so
to be
bad.
there. Like, I didn't have my head clear. I was using every help from any drug to deal with it. My brain was fried.
What drugs? Cool shit.
The coolest shit that I could get my hands on to
Puerto Rico sounds like you could get some cool shit.
to numb the pain.
Seattle.
I don't. I also don't.
Grunge.
Drugs.
I don't recommend it though. But at the time, I wasn't clear.
Hey, what drugs?
Every pill that I could get my hands on that will numb the pain and not make me feel a certain way.
Shit, that sucks.
Yeah.
So you know that.
It was time for some tough love, dude.
Absolutely. So they helped me go through it. They didn't kick me out. So that's important because I did say shit that will get people kicked out from bands.
Yeah.
I was angry at everything and at myself, at everyone.
But I think now he knows he can come to us, especially me and Will.
Absolutely.
And I think now he knows that I love him like a brother, and I would do anything for him. And I think I know that anything that happened was about him and not about us. And that's important when you have that kind of relationship. Is if you're going through something that's about you and it's spilling over, you need help. If you're going through something that I'm causing or that is caused by our relationship, sometimes that's harder to fix. So we just spent a lot of time together.
So in that sense, this new record was my revenge.
I was going to say, do you feel like you got that trophy?
I had been waiting for it for years, man. Like when I finished tracking this, and I mean it for whoever's listening, Will, you've recorded with Will. At the end of the session, we'll sit down and listen to the whole thing to make sure we got everything how we want it. Yeah. I started crying.
Yeah.
I started crying because it took me so long to be there. And I didn't kill myself just to have the opportunity to be there.
Yeah.
Because I told myself, well, if I kill myself, I will never do another record.
Yeah.
This sucks, but that's how I was thinking.
Oh, I think like that all the time. Don't worry.
So
it's the only way to get.
So I used the making a record as an excuse to get healthier, to stop drinking how I was drinking, to stop doing all the extra stuff and focus on myself. It's a good excuse. As being a drummer, it's a good excuse to try to stay in shape, to play the drums. It's a good way of living anyways, to be healthier,
Yeah.
I used that, and it took me closer to 3 years or some shit, a few tours of playing those songs that weren't mine, very difficult songs, recorded by a guy that had no limitations at the time.
Yeah.
I had this new one, but it teach me how to approach it differently if I had to change technique, the way I play, everything. That being said, when I heard the whole thing done, I was like, I don't care if it's my best performance or not. I'm just happy that I did another one, like I promised myself. So I started crying. I hide in the bathroom, like, so no one will see me. But it sucked to go through that.
And how is the mental state now that that's done? Because I personally, I had the same thing very recently where I was in a real dark place and I was like, but I can't do anything because I have to do this album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that kept me going for 3 months of getting ready for the album. But then the minute I tracked the album, my brain went, okay, we've done that now.
Yeah.
Now it might be time.
Yeah.
And I did the opposite. And my brain went like, oh, I've done that now. So now it doesn't matter if I fucking die, which was bad.
I get excited about things and it goes away very quickly. Now the excuse is, well, I did something great that will stay there forever, right? As long as humans can listen to music. Now I have a different task. I have to take care of myself so I can play that stuff for whoever is there to enjoy it. Because I'm an entertainer. And I love the idea of, even though we play the gnarliest, heaviest music, most of the people that go see these shows are happy. They're happy to meet us. They're happy to be there. I love entertaining someone at the end of their day and make them happier, hopefully. That's why I play the way I play. That's why I exaggerate everything. It's just to give them something. So now my new homework to do is, well, that's done. That's great. Sounds great. I like all my drumming. Now I have to play this stuff.
Yeah.
It's a different chapters.
Yeah, I feel like that's why maybe my thing was just like, okay, I've done that now because we don't have a tour till February. So like, to be honest with you, right now my brain is like, the fuck am I doing?
Fishing.
Now I
What the
can
fuck
just
am I doing? I need to do something now. I've learned the album. That was 3 months of locking in.
When you're a musician, like there's some dark things, right? And people don't really get it. People don't understand it. They think it's the coolest job. But we make a joke about something that actually is really cool. The joke is, let me clear the joke up. The joke is not about the actual what the subject matter is. The joke is about the fact that we kind of play like shitty music. We're not playing like jazz or we're not like playing this beautiful thing. It's like,
I don't know how to
dudes
count.
puking on dudes puking on microphones and like you're punching your guitar and your music saved my life, right? So it's kind of funny.
It saved mine.
Like,
though.
but the truth of the matter is that when we go to a show and somebody tells me their story, that's the fuel.
It is. Yeah.
That's the fuel. Like when you're behind the drums and you got your shirt off and you're all sweaty and sexy, right? Son of a bitch, right? And
Thanks.
And people look at you and they come to you after the show and you've just beaten the shit out of yourself. And you're like, man, like there was a point in my life where I identified with this song or this record and it got me through some shit. I have so much music like that.
Same.
And like for me to, even though I don't write every song, even though, I'm playing other people's music sometimes, I'm doing something for somebody that somebody did for me. And the difference is I'm always going to make time for those people. I'm always going to go to the merch table. I'm always going to walk around through a show. I'm always going to go to local shows. And if somebody takes 5 minutes to say hello, I'm going to talk to them. That is the game changer. So when you guys are feeling that way, because when I'm feeling that way, I remember that. I remember when I was 16 and I figured out this is where I want to be for the rest of my life. We collectively do that for other people. We give them a space. And that's fucking beautiful.
As
Yeah,
you
I
might,
need those people in my living room gassing me up though.
Yeah, sometimes.
In the living room is where I'm.
But how about this? When you feel that way, I can call you or you can call me and I can say, man, feeling like shit today. This is what I miss. And then you start talking about it and you remember how important it is.
I use my
I'm
drums
terrible
as
at finding people.
Yeah,
Thank
what
you.
I
I
mean,
appreciate you. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I use the drums as therapy straight up.
Yeah.
Daily. Like
Physical and mental.
there's days where I'm actually fighting them because I'm pissed at maybe them or me or some situation at
Somebody
home
ate
or
your Pop-Tart on the bus.
something. It could be
That a real story?
It could
True
be.
story.
It
True
could be.
story.
Yeah. It could.
What flavor?
It was a sandwich, actually.
Oh.
It was some sandwich, and Josean got fucking ripped the night before, and he got on the bus, and we all watched him eat it. And the next day, he goes looking for it, and he's like, "Who ate my fucking sandwich?" And we're like, "You did, you fat fuck. What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Oh yeah."
That's
So there's
funny.
days where I'm on stage and whoever is looking at me, they have no idea what's going in my head. I'm not thinking about the songs only and being here playing music. I'm like actually pissed off. Like
Yeah.
just, and after the set, maybe similar to going to a gym, you feel great.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was just being a baby, like I feel great. I think that's an honest way to perform the music that we perform. You get what you get that night, and I meant it.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't play perfectly,
Yeah.
because that's not real, but I try very hard, and at least you'll get the energy. I think,
Break those fucking new knees again.
Yeah, break him in.
yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it
Knock
until.
the dust off those.
Well, now you know
screws.
you can do it. You can break them again. Just get them fixed.
Yeah.
No, now I made peace with that. Like now I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? A few years replace them. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's
Whenever it gets that, if I get there with where I think it will happen eventually, I have no issues with
Just
that
remember-
because remember why am I like this? I did everything I wanted.
Grandma's boy.
I used my knees until I had to replace them.
I think I'm
kinda
gonna go
fucking
get
hard.
robot legs. It's a risky operation.
That's literally grandma's boy.
It sucks, it hurts, and it's not the smartest thing to do. But I'm not seeing it
We're
as
not here to be smart, dude.
I,
We're here to fucking rip shows.
if I was playing basketball, I will keep playing basketball until I can't play anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same thing. There will be a day where I will be destroyed. I'll let them know. I'll figure something out.
Get Matt back. Get the depression
Same,
back.
yeah.
Get the
But-
knees fixed. We're back.
We're back.
Cycles.
But for
6
now,
months off.
for as long as I have the strength and the mind and everything, I will just keep going until I cannot do it anymore.
Nice. Speaking of touring, because I'm conscious of time. Okay, so US tour, you're on it right now. I need. If the band is stopping somewhere for food, where is the mutually agreed upon most likely place that you're going to stop for food? Is there like a band spot?
Well, everyone likes Buc-ee's.
Yeah, but
we were talking about real food.
But I'm,
Real
I'm
food.
talking about
Like
like
a
a chain,
meal?
like Better Lovers said PF Chang's, and I was like, what the fuck? And apparently that's their shit.
It would probably be like a Thai food spot.
Thai.
All of us like Thai food.
Yeah.
We would all eat it, and it's something that we can all eat. There's healthy options. There's shitty fried options. Tim can get 9 Thai iced teas. Like
He does.
It's
Really?
Yeah, Tim loves his Thai iced teas. So I think Thai food. I mean, even Joe loves Thai food, and Joe's a pretty picky eater. So that's probably the agreed upon.
I like it because there's days where I want to eat only veggies,
Yeah.
but some days I want rice,
Yeah.
and some days I want meat, and they have it all.
Got it all.
I'm a big eat by myself guy, but Thai would be the spot
I kind of do an eat by myself on tour all the
because I'm
time.
very particular.
I don't know. I wake up and I go to the gym and then I go for food and I like my little moment of myself.
Little self-time.
Little self-time.
Self-help.
And then what are you doing on day? What's like a day off? You hanging out together on a day off, or is everyone
Sometimes, it depends on where we are. Like if we're in a familiar place, like one of the things that happens is it starts to become less new, more ritual. You know what I mean? So there's places that we all like to go. Like you can guarantee I'm walking 2 miles for a good cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And then Josean is gonna, he's gonna wake up and do what he wants to do. Blue doesn't really care. I think Joe is like a hang out on the bus and play video games guy. And then Tim's actually probably the most explorer guy. He likes to go do those things. But like if we're in a new place, we'll all get together and go see cool stuff together. It just depends on the situation. Now we tour so much that these places are just like, there's just places that are like home for us.
Isn't that crazy when you think about places that are in the other side of the world, but you feel so familiar with them?
It's fucking
Like,
insane.
I
I get stoked to be here because I'm like, oh fuck, like I like eating at this place, like I like
But
doing
that's in
this.
the other
Like,
side of the world.
tonight I'm going to Montclair. I was like, oh, I can get Arnie
Well,
ramen.
watch-
It's like, I'm 3,500 miles away from home.
Watch this. London, remember, that Indian place that's around the block from that Boston music room?
Yes.
I'm going to go there.
Fuck
That's
yeah.
where I want to eat food.
Speaking of London,
Yep.
November 22nd, UK, Europe.
Yep. Silosis direct support. The UK dates, they are co-headlining with us, and they will be headlining one of the shows, which is the London date, which is like their big. They just
Reading
deserve.
Boys is
Yeah, they
practically London.
deserve to be there.
And we
for
have
that,
Darkest
for sure.
Hour on that one too.
The Darkest Hour,
Sick,
Harriot, Deb is great. Fucking sick vocals, great guitar work. Like it's a really solid tour. That's a really
I like
good
that
one.
band.
Good
Yeah.
riffs.
Yeah, she's got riffs, dude.
I think they need a producer.
I'm not getting into that. I think you're right.
But
But
you just got into it.
so yeah, okay. So I'm into
Anyway,
it.
I love the band. I love
would like-
it. I want to see
I
an
want to
album
see her
with
work
a
with Will
producer.
Putney.
Pretty much that is pretty much what
Come
I'm
on, Will
Yeah.
Putney and Harriet. That would
it'd be fucking amazing.
Because
they
they're
have-
already making good shit.
saying. Yeah, they have the opportunity to be like one of the biggest fucking metal bands in the world.
It's pretty crazy.
I just hope they don't go on the do it myself thing
I think
forever.
I think bands forget that there's a reason why, Rick Rubin does what Rick Rubin does.
Yeah.
There's a reason why these folks exist. And like sometimes it's more just having somebody say, this is cool, but you can do this better. Go do this better. Cause you sometimes you just believe the
It's
way
like Slipknot. Think
Yeah.
about fucking Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat, and then think about the self-titled.
Yeah,
One of the
yeah.
best metal albums of all time, and then the album before it, some weird fucking like they had all the things there, and then
just needed to arrange them
Yeah.
properly. Yeah, I think, and I'm super excited about Silosis.
they are my boys.
Josh-
Josh
Joshy
is my
Middleton.
oldest friend.
Listen, that dude's an actual fucking weapon guitar player. And like, I can't wait to watch those folks play. And they're going to be on our US tour too. The US tour is Judiciary, which is Izzy from Gate Creepers band. And then Silosis, Josh,
Yeah.
Distant, super heavy deathcore stuff. And then all of the Kyles and Body Snatcher.
Nice.
Right? 3 of them. And I love that band, and they're really nice dudes. And their singer is so excited about everything music related. It makes me stoked. And then us as a headliner. So both tours are stacked. It's going to be really fucking cool. Happy to be out with Darkest Hour again because they're just like party machine, like good dudes. They bring the right vibe. Like these shows are just going to be cool.
So the UK one is Fit and Silosis co-headline. Harriet. Who else?
Darkest Hour.
Yeah, Darkest Hour.
Darkest Hour's on that
so
as well.
it's Harriet, Darkest Hour. Silosis is direct support in mainland Europe, and then in the UK, we're
Co-headline.
co-head. And then States is Judiciary, Silosis, Distant, Body Snatcher, Fit.
That's 2 sick lineups.
Big fucking rooms in the States. Europe is selling fast right now.
Yeah.
UK is going to be sold out soon. Finland just sold out. Oslo's about to sell out. So those dates are just ripping right now. The States is cool. We have we're doing all kinds of stuff we've never done before for the States. We're doing like a VIP meet and greet thing, which is really cool. And we put together like a really cool package for that. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, go check it out.
Wait, hang on.
What do you got?
When are you doing Glasgow? Why are we even bothering doing this now?
I don't know. This is your podcast. I'm doing whatever you tell
I mean,
me.
I was actually here by accident because I cancelled some other shit, and I was like, just give me another podcast.
Well, here we are.
Yeah, I'm at home. I'll see you there.
Yeah.
24th of November.
We're
I'll
gonna
be
drink
there.
coffee and hug.
Bring
Oh,
coffee.
you can come to mine. I'll make you nice.
God,
What's the venue?
I don't
look,
know.
It's right fucking here. I can have a little look.
I don't know that.
I can tell you the first week of the US tour because I'm excited.
Oh, QMU. It's weird. It's like a student fucking.
It's selling good.
Buy a ticket, go see him. It's fucking insane lineup. Two truths and a lie.
Okay.
Give me 3 fucking.
Subject matters.
Yeah, and
that
I'm
may
going
be
to ask
truth,
you questions.
maybe
And we're going to
lies.
figure out.
I got a woman out of a burning vehicle. That's my one. We shut a venue down because somebody said something inappropriately racist.
Okay.
And I had dinner with Dave Grohl.
Hot potatoes. I'm going to start backwards.
Yeah.
From Dave Grohl.
Mm-hmm.
Was he with his wife or someone else?
He was he's with his tour manager.
With his tour manager. Where was it?
California.
What was the restaurant?
We didn't go to a restaurant.
Where was it?
We ate outside a venue.
You ate outside. I had dinner with Dave Grohl. It's turned into outside of venue. What were you eating?
Barbecue.
Both of you.
Yeah.
Where was the barbecue from?
Dave Grohl was making the barbecue
He was making the barbecue.
Outside
Why
of
was he
venue.
making the barbecue?
because there was a show and he was making barbecue and giving it out to everybody.
So it could. Okay. What, he played a show and then there was a
No,
barbecue? There
it
was
was
a
another
show.
show.
What was the show?
It was a Dime Bash show.
Dime Bash.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to revisit this one. Because now you give me quite. I mean, I had dinner with Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl handed me a fucking pork roll. Slightly different, but okay. Taking the woman out of the burning vehicle. What was the vehicle?
I don't remember exactly, but I know the car was black.
Black car. Where were you?
Small car. New Jersey.
New Jersey.
The Parkway.
How burning?
When we pulled up, we were coming down the road. The car was pulled over to the side of the road, and I just saw the bottom of the car was kind of like glimmering.
Yeah.
And you could kind of see that there was a little fire going under there. So it wasn't like engulfed in flames. And I said I got a woman out of a burning car. I didn't say I pulled her out of a burning car. I got her out of a burning car.
What happened?
What happened? We pulled over. I got out of the car. She was petrified. She didn't want to put the window down.
Was she just in the car thinking
I think
nothing
the
was
car
happening?
broke down and she was calling for some help and had no idea that the car itself was on fire. And I knocked on the window and I'm like, hey, you got to get out of the car. And she didn't want to listen to me. And I started yelling, your car is on fire.
Yeah.
And then finally she listened and got out of the car.
Do you find that happens quite a lot because of your tattoos and demeanor?
People are afraid of me.
Same.
It's fine.
Yeah,
I look like a criminal. I understand.
I kind of love it.
I kind of wish more people were afraid of me because then less
Yeah.
soccer moms would talk to me
Get
about
less
my tattoos.
fucking tattoos, everyone else.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get the opposite and everyone's just like really
Yeah,
talkative.
about my tattoos.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I mean, the reason I did it in the beginning was so people did not
yes,
know.
Absolutely.
But now
exactly.
everybody wants to talk to me about it, and that's fine too.
But okay, burning car. Was she thankful once you got her out?
Yeah.
Just standard thankful, not like, oh
Well,
my god, thank you.
we kind of got her into a safe distance and got in the car and drove away.
Oh, so you don't know what happened?
I do, because I drove back.
What happened?
And when we got back, the car was burnt and the fire department was there.
Completely burnt?
Completely burnt.
Shit. Okay, ejecting someone from the.
No. Shut a whole club down
Okay.
because somebody said something adversely racist.
Where? On stage?
No, it was at the end of a show.
Yeah.
We were on tour with a particularly larger band. And we
Wait,
were playing.
the club doesn't exist anymore.
No,
because
the
of
club
this.
exists, but everybody that worked there had a really bad night. The bartender said something unreasonably discriminatory to somebody who was on the tour package, and then turned into an argument. And he threw a cup with ice at this bartender, and the bartender ran around the bar and stole the camera that this person had.
Yeah.
And ran out the front door with the camera and ran into 4 of our guys.
Nice.
Tried to steal a $10,000 Canon camera and just run away with it. And the door opened and Tim and 3 other large gentlemen were standing there, and it turned into a little bit of a standoff.
What did you do? Kick his ass?
It didn't go the way he would have wanted it to go
Okay.
because his coworker got involved and took a swing at somebody, and then another person got involved, and it turned into a melee. It was all over the internet.
Really?
Oh yeah.
What year was this?
It was the Hey Tour.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I am torn
On which is true and which is not.
on... I feel like that one's true.
Yeah.
That one's true
That one's
because it
true.
was too niche.
Yep.
The other two, you kind of panicked during the Dave Grohl one a couple of times.
You think so?
But yeah, you can roll the tape back.
Mm-hmm.
Panicked. But there was some very specific, like I feel like I remember hearing Dave Grohl giving out barbecue at some point. And then the burning car one, earlier on, we were talking about a national tragedy. And you looked at me and said, I know what my lie is. So I'm going to say number one is the lie.
The burning car.
Burning car.
No, that's the truth.
Dave Grohl's the lie.
Dave Grohl's a lie.
Of course it fucking is.
Well, let me tell you why Dave Grohl's a lie.
Go.
That would have completely happened if when I got to NAMM with my wife.
Yeah. It was at NAMM, I remember.
Yep. He went to the Dime Bash and was giving out barbecue. And I've been trying to meet him for years because I just want to pick his brain about the music industry.
I want to pick his brain about pulling out.
Yeah, sure. I knew that was going to happen. Poor Dave, dummy. What's going on?
What a bad look.
Yeah,
But do you know what
bad
though?
look.
Like, I'll say this because it's my podcast. I can say whatever the fuck I want. But we're going to end on adultery, and we started on adultery. Yes, the adultery special. Like he fucked up.
He did, for sure.
I feel like the internet going, oh my god, nothing is safe. Like if Dave Grohl's doing this,
okay,
like,
so I think
everyone fucks up.
Yeah, but I think Dave Grohl and Keanu Reeves fall into a different category. I think those two guys, everybody looked at them as like the champions of what good people are. And here's what I'm gonna say: mental illness is crazy, and life is crazy, and people don't know what happened in his life, and people don't know what's happening at home, and happy, sad, all these things. So, what do I think? Am I disappointed? Sure, because you want your heroes to be the best people.
Yeah.
But also, I'm kind of a piece of shit. And my life has not been easy. And I've been through a lot of things. And I can't make excuses for him because I think it sucks that it happened because you want him to be the best person. But who the fuck am I to judge anybody?
Mm-hmm. You don't know the full story.
Yeah, I don't know.
The self post of it was the crazy thing to me. I was like, this should be private, bro.
Yeah, but I think maybe you don't know why. Maybe it was a discussion. Maybe
You're gonna lose everything.
you're gonna lose everything if you don't prove to me, and maybe she just wanted the world to know. Or maybe he wanted the world to know. Maybe he needed that.
Maybe he's owning it.
Maybe he needs to own up. Who knows? Maybe he really is a good guy and did something really fucking dumb. I don't know. But what I do know is that
I'm annoyed about the Nevermind Baby still though. So
that's annoying.
that's another thing.
should have gave the Nevermind Baby $100,000.
Yeah, or just give him $1 million. They're all super
He
rich.
asked for $100,000. That was it.
Yeah, but
They
you
all
know,
said
instead
no.
of $100,000, say, you know what? You helped my band become the biggest band in the world. Here's $1 million. What's $1 million to those 3 dudes
Yeah,
or
he's-
2 dudes?
Yeah, he's
You know?
be paying that in child support now.
Yeah, now he's
Hey, I can say what I want.
Okay,
I can
and
do what I fucking want.
the burning car thing is cool too.
Burning car, yeah.
So me and my wife are driving down the Parkway in New Jersey,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Is there a fire under that car?" And I look, and I'm like, "There's a fucking fire underneath that car." And we pull over, knock on the window, tell her, and we're like, "Yo, you got to get the fuck out of the car. The car's on fire. Car's on fire. Get the
Yeah.
fuck out." She gets out.
Sexy Greg just walking in there.
Look at him, dude.
Look at that.
So
I'm just gonna,
What's up, baby?
I'm gonna green screen that into the Better Lovers one.
fucking love it. And so we get her out. We get her to a safe distance, and we're like, "Call the cops. Call the fire department because your car's on fire." And we leave. And this is when I was working Tom's River, a few towns south. We go in, and on the way back, like 25 minutes later, car's smoking on the side of the road, and the fire department's there. So I'm not going to say that I saved somebody or did anything crazy, but we technically got a woman to get out of a car that was on fire. This is a true
She
story.
may have later on that day gone on to commit adultery.
She might have.
We don't know. And
We don't
that's-
know.
That's how we end,
That's
the,
how we end the
podcast. We
podcast.
start on adultery. We end on adultery. Fit is on tour in America right now. They're going to be on tour in the UK and Europe. Sorry, I said America. The United States.
Yes.
They're not on tour in South
No,
America.
no Canada, no Mexico on this one, but there are things in the works.
But I can't wait to go to
cannot
Latin America.
wait to
I've
go
never
back to
been.
Latin
I've
America.
never been.
Mexico was so fucking cool last time we were there. I cannot wait to go back.
And I've been,
I feel like I'll die if I go to Colombia, if you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
but that's the
Cocaine
place
straight
for it.
from
yeah.
Bolivia.
That's the place.
That's the place for it?
Yeah.
Of course.
Sweet. Adultery, cocaine. Don't demonetize this, YouTube. Please. Thank you, guys. Bye.